How's it going, guys? My name is Flamers and welcome to Blast from the Past, one of my new series where we sort of shine a light on old games that are still playable, that you can still log onto your PC, download them for free and still access them and have a good time, hopefully. Today we will be covering Legend of Mir 2. Now, I'm starting. This is actually my first of this series, Blast from the Past, and I decided to start with Legend of Mir 2, basically because it was the first ever MMO that I ever played. Massive multiplayer online role-playing game. I'll just get that out of the way. This was the first one I ever played. I think I was about 11 or 12. So yeah, we were still up. We were still on the dial-up then, with all that noise and the 2-hourly disconnects. Yeah, that brings back memories, definitely. So yeah, I wanted to cover this first, and mostly because it's still going, surprisingly. Really strong community sort of behind this game that still has some private servers still up. I will be showing you this one, which has been running for I think a couple years now, called Mir Chronicles. But first, let me just give you some interesting facts about Legend of Mir 2. So, it was released way back in September 2001. So how old would I have been then? Yeah, 12. I did start playing it when it first came out because my dad played it first, and he would let us all us kids, have 30 minutes each before he took over and spent the rest of the night on it. Yeah, it definitely brings back memories. So when it first released, there was 3 official servers. There was the Korean. This is a Korean-made game, by the way. If you played MMOs made by Koreans before, then you know it's going to be a massive grind. There was also Chinese, and then there was a European. Now, the European servers, they unfortunately came to a close in 2009, upon which North America took up the mantle with GamePot Company, I believe it was called, which then later closed in 2012. Now, the Korean and Chinese servers, as far as I'm aware, they're still running. Apparently it's really popular in China. But overall, I mean, at its height, when I was playing, apparently the game boasted to have at least 120 million players worldwide. That's quite a lot of players, really. I mean, compared to maybe some other games nowadays, it's not. But back then, when not really anybody sort of knew anything about these games, I mean, we're talking about 2001. This is years ago. There's quite a lot of people. Now, the other interesting thing about this game, and I remember it clearly, the European server was owned by a company called We Made Entertainment, which had some sort of partnership with Game Network. Now, Game Network back in the day had its own satellite television channel when we had Sky. Yeah, it was quite fortunate, really. When we had Sky Telly, which is, if you're American, that's cable. We could switch onto this channel, Game Network, and we could watch people play the games that we were playing. Now, this was years before there was Twitch. It might have been YouTube, but I don't think it was all that popular. There definitely was no streaming service. So to watch somebody play a game live on TV, a game that we was playing, was just completely just bonkers. It was like unheard of. It was really weird to watch it, and I think that's probably one of my better memories. Just that first experience. I mean, kids now, it's quite normal for them to stream and to, just to switch on Twitch and watch other people playing, but back then it was weird. I mean, I make it sound like I'm always from the black and white period. I'm not. It's just dial-up. We had dial-up back then for like 5-6 hours a night. My mother couldn't even use the telephone because we didn't have a separate telephone port. We had to plug our Ethernet or whatever into there, and yeah, whatever. I don't think we even had Ethernet back then. So yeah, it was weird. So those are some facts. Now I know probably what you're saying. European servers closed, the North American servers closed. You don't really want to play the Korean or Chinese servers. Now I'm not just doing this video just to show old games. I want to make you aware that they're actually still playable. So, like I said before, Legend of Mir 2, it's got quite a good following. It's got still quite a large fan base, and these people come together on certain forums, and they have their own private servers. So this one, which I'm showing you now, is called Mir Chronicles, and like I said before, it's been running for a couple of years. So let's get in game. I'll show you the classes, and then we'll go from there. So, the game initially released with just 3 classes. Now, it ran with just these 3 classes for years and years and years and years, and it wasn't till actually recently that they've introduced more classes. Now, the main one is the warrior, typically up close, close quarter combat. Oh, shut up. Who's this? Yeah, that's put me off now. So, typical warrior, whatever you expect a warrior to do. You've got the mage, the wizard, which specialises in a lot of AoE abilities, area of effect, if you don't know what that means. Which means it does damage to a large area. Then you've got the Taoist. I can never pronounce this after years and years. Some people say Taoist, some people say Taoist, which is your support / healer sort of class. That's the class that I used to play when I used to play. Now these 3 classes weren't released till much later. The first one that come was the assassin. Now the assassin is much like the warrior. It's sort of close quarter combat, except a little bit faster, just a little bit less accuracy. They got some nice damage as well. Now this maybe come a few years later. It's the ranger, which does a lot of ranging. I don't think I can really describe that any better, to be honest. Let me just silence this thing. It's doing my nothing. And then lastly, this has just come out recently, like at least just in a year or so. It's the monk. Now I've never played the monk before. It looks interesting. Apparently it's sort of like a hybrid, mid-range to close quarter. As a monk I would expect maybe healing, but I don't know. So let's create a monk. Well, it's very slow. Just ignore that. That's my PC because I've got so many things running in the background. And then you can log into game. Right. So in terms of difficulty, it's pretty easy to get used to playing Legend of Mir. Your character is always in the centre of the screen. Now to move around, you either hold left click to walk around, or you hold right click to run around. To attack mobs and stuff, you sort of go up to them and you left click on them. As you level up, you'll get skills later on which you sort of keybind between F1 to F8, and then you've also got the option of control F1 to control F8. So you've got basically slots for at least 16 skills that you can bind to your F keys or control and F keys. Now skills can vary from level, I think the first one is at level 7, which is more of an accuracy skill for every class, up to your like high level skills up to like level 40s and onwards. Let's say for example a warrior gets cross half moon at approximately level 40 plus, cross half moon being like an attack that hits all around him. So yeah, there's quite some simple skills and there's some very advanced skills. Like I mentioned before, all the classes play their own part. So your warrior, you get some high damaging close quarter skills. Your wizard, you'll get some AoE, either lightning or frost or fire. Did I say wizard? Yeah. Your Taoist, you get like healing abilities, and then you get stronger healing abilities. You get buffs, so like your defense buffs, your magic defense buffs. your damage buffs, all that sort of thing. So it's a very simple game to get used to. Drops and stuff, not something I can quickly explain in a couple of minutes, but you have different hunting grounds. You go to certain areas for your level, for your sort of your how much damage you do and how much defense you've got. You have to at least have some decent amount of damage to survive in some places, and then drops is all about RNG. If you don't know what RNG means, it's random number generated, which is all about killing bosses and hoping for the drops. Now you can get all sorts of things, drops like better weapons and all that sort of thing. It does have an auction house system, so you can buy stuff if you save up the money. Now lastly, the last thing to explain is leveling. Now with it being Korean based, like I mentioned before, leveling is grinding. Now I'm sure there's other private servers, if you are not the sort of person who likes to grind, I'm sure there's other private servers with sort of times 5 XP, times 10 XP, maybe more. But Mir Chronicles is trying to be as close to the original as it can be without sort of letting people get a little bit too bored. So I think it's increased a little bit, but not a great deal, which I actually like about it, to be honest. Now there are other things. You have all your traditional stuff, like your you can party up with people, share the XP, help each other out. You have guilds. You can join guilds. There's guild wars. You can have a guild war for a place called Sabuk, which is its own town in its own right, and if your guild owns it, then you can close the doors to other people, I think, from what I remember. There's PKing. PKing's completely different. Compared to other games. Now, if you die in this game, you will drop stuff. I remember back like years ago, people were like trying to PK people, and some people went red because they PK'd too many people, and they get killed by guards or they get killed by other players, and they would drop everything. When you're red, you will drop a lot of your stuff. Not all of it. You might be lucky. You might keep some of it, but if you are red, you will drop a lot of it. And from years ago, I remember people dropping shitload of expensive items. So you can PK. I'm sure there's separate PvP zones where you don't actually drop anything. I mean, if you kill people, you could also curse your weapon, which if I could quickly explain that, cursing a weapon means you do the lower end of the damage. So if you have a weapon that does 10 to 20, if you have luck on that weapon, you'll end up doing more towards a 20. If you end up cursing your weapon, you end up doing more towards a 10. So there's benefits, and to not PKing, and there is consequences. So let me show you my other warrior. So at the moment I'm just roaming around a place called Wuma Temple. Now this is one of many hunting grounds, sort of mid-level range, between 20 to 30 and onwards, because it has 3 floors, and on the bottom floor is the big boss, the what they call the Wuma Taurus, and he drops some decent stuff sometimes. This guy, the Wuma Guardian, he's like a sub-boss. He's fairly hard. He hits me quite hard, at least, and I'm 43 on this. And he drops some nice stuff as well. This is just an example of one area that I just wanted to show you, because I'm just returning to this game. I needed to find somewhere a little bit easier because I'm a noob still. Now, as you can see, I'm using some skills there. So that flashing thing is what we call Twin Drake Blade, which is, I believe, level 32, 34 something skill. And also Flaming Sword, which is a 35 skill. And look at that, he's dropped a lot of stuff, a lot of pots. I'm going to need some pots if I come across the Wumatoris on the last floor. Definitely. Some potions are great because normal pots, they sort of increase your health and MP over time. Some pots increase it instantly. They're great for PvP especially. So we'll definitely collect all them. We'll collect all the gold and we'll collect all these other pots because I used a couple. We've got some ranged mobs here. Go away. This dark here. The ranged mob, hate them. Oh god, they bring back memories. Oh. Right, let's continue on. What else have we got? Oh, like a rune or something. I think that's for enchanting. Yeah, there is an enchanting system. So you get items and you can add stats to them, which is another good thing. So let's continue on. Because as you can see, there's a lot of fog of war in this game. You need candles, you need torches just to light up an area. If you don't have a torch or a candle in a dungeon, then you're not going to be able to see very much at all. I'm sure you can get brighter candles, or torches even. I've not got a bright one, it's just sort of the standard, I believe. Just got to follow this path. We'll ignore all the mobs. Just ignore all these. And that dung. Yeah, that was called a dung. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's a load of Woomers in Woomer Temple. There's a surprise. There's also Zuma Temple. Guess what's in them? In there even. Yes, you're right. Zumas. Zumas are in Zuma Temple. And bugs are in Bug Cave. And Numas are in Numa Temple, I believe. There are Numas. Definitely, I'm not lying, there are Numas. I'm just looking around here just for another sub-boss. Just in case, because I need some more drops. There's nothing around here, so... This is the stairs. Oh, there's a Woman Guardian there, look. There's sub-boss. Let's kill that guy. He's brought some friends along, so I might just put Half Moon on, or I might not. Half Moon is sort of like an attack which hits things in like an arc, so you can hit 3 or 4 mobs around you. You got Cross Half Moon as well, which hits like everything around you. I think I've got it, but I didn't realise it at this point. Not even leveled it actually. Yeah, that's another thing to add. Skills. When you get skills, you need to level them up because they're quite weak to start with, and then once you get them to max level, they're quite strong. To level them up, you just keep using them. Another big drop. Let's see what we got here. Oh, another rune. Yeah, that's very nice. A load of gold, a load of potions. Just what I needed. And another rune, of course. Right, let's go. Let's skip ahead. So I went to the king's room and the Taurus wasn't there. He's got like an hourly spawn or something. I believe he'd been killed already. So I missed out on that. So I come back to town and I found this guy, this warrior. Who's dressed exactly like me, and he's also got a dragon slayer as well, like me, which is the weapon we're both using. And we're just having a little bit of a scrap. To go into PK mode, you have to press Control and H, and you keep pressing it because there's sort of like different options. You can set it to like guild only, so you can't attack your own guild members, but you can attack anybody else in a different guild. You've got attack reds only, so you can only attack red people. And then you've got attack all. I mean, you attack anyone. And when you flag, your name appears brown. So like my name is there and his name's white because obviously he's not flagged. I'm the one doing the PK. Just not very well at the moment. Just getting battered. That other thing I do is I push him like that. That's called shoulder dash. That's a skill the warrior does, and it's a good way of getting a couple of extra hits in because only I can hit him like a second after I use it. It's like there again, and then I hit him again. We're both taking a battering, a bit of a pointless battering, But to be honest, if I kill him, he could drop something. Because he's not flagged and because he's white, he probably won't drop a lot. So he might just drop the contents of his inventory, but he won't actually probably drop anything off his person. So I can't imagine getting his weapon. Just recovering some HP. And push him about again. This is PK. This is warrior against warrior. You've got all the other options as well, like wizards who sort of run around and kite you and frostball you, and God, they're annoying. You've got Taoists which heal themselves all the time and attack you, and they've also got pets. They've got like skeletons and shinsus and holy divas, they call them. They're pets for Taoists. Assassins are annoying because they do some high damage and pretty quick damage. Archers kiting, obviously. Monks, no idea. So you'd have to let me know about that. So this is it for this episode of Blast from the Past. This guy's running away now. Yeah, you run away. I hope you guys would just give this a try. It was a fun game back in the day. This was before World of Warcraft, before those big MMOs, the big sort of games that changed the course of how MMOs are today. This is what we had. This is the sort of game we had, and yeah, I hope you guys try this out. I'll leave the link in the description. But that's it from me for now, guys. Take care. Bye bye.